Welcome to Guns and Gear Network, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. Today we're going to discuss the HK91 C308 CETME style rifles. Stay tuned. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. So today we're going to discuss the HK91 style rifles. It's not really a full review of this one. This one is the Century Arms C308, the infamous C308. But it's just an overview of a discussion of where this platform would fit in, like say in a prepping type mentality or something like that, or fit into a collection, whatever. So a lot of history on this, and I won't even go into all that. There's tons of videos about this thing. I just wanted to do a brief discussion about it tonight real quick with you guys. So I've had, I think this is my third one I've had over the years, different manufacturers and things like that. So C308 is what they did. Century Arms teamed up with, I think, PTR, and PTR made these receivers, American-made receivers, and they're on CETME parts kits is what they're made out of. So the earlier versions were pretty controversial as far as not real kind of shoddy work and things like that. The later versions like this one have a pretty good reputation, to be honest with you. Still a lot of accessories out. There's still a lot of parts out for these. Parts are still fairly reasonable. This is easy to work on, so forth. 308 caliber. So this one is actually set up in kind of a DMR setup with the bipod scope set up, so this one can be used in that role, more of a dedicated, designated marksman type role. This right here is quick release for the most part. It's got like a little thumb adjustment to tighten, and these right here, quick release. Take this off, and now you're back to a battle rifle, sling it, ready to go kind of approach. With it being a 308, it's better for hard targets. It's can be used for hunting application, big game, things like that, distance. So this over a 223 5.56 AR. If I had to choose one or the other, it would be, the AR. However, if I'm going to add another rifle to my collection or purpose, a lot of people look at adding a long distance option. I think this over a bolt action. A bolt action is always going to be more accurate, right? So I've done a video about it, actually a couple of videos. So I have a precision rifle. It is a dedicated built precision rifle, and it's a bolt action. It has its limitations. This is a little more versatile. Is it as accurate as my bolt rifle? Absolutely not. Not even close. This one, you're talking 2 to 5 MOA, kind of approach when it comes to accuracy. My other one, you're talking 1/4 to 1/2 MOA. So big difference in accuracy. However, we're talking man size, deer size. We're talking big targets. Engine blocks or whatever it is, we're talking big stuff. And this one fits that role just fine. It's been used in battle for decades by hundreds of countries all over the world. So it is a proven platform in that environment. It's a roller delayed blowback system. Won't get into all the details of that. I'm not even going to strip it down. There's plenty of good videos out there. Such does a whole video about this platform, and a few other YouTubers out there about this. So I'm not going to get into that big of a detail with it. Not going to get in the weeds that deep with it tonight. I'm just going to discuss, one thing about this thing. You can get, I think 5 round, 10 round, 20 round for sure. This is a 20 round magazine, and maybe even a 30 round magazine. But it's got a few variations in magazines. This one is a 20. Now, these magazines at one time were dirt cheap. I'm talking like $2, $3 a piece, literally. I found them at gun shows when I can't remember if it was my first or second one of these I had some years back. I bet I bought 20 magazines at one time at a gun show. So I recently found more. So I have about 25 or 30, I think, last count of these magazines. So they come 2 different variations of magazine. They have the aluminum. This is the HK branded magazine. So excellent quality from HK. Everybody knows HK as far as that goes. Really expensive quality firearms and accessories and products. And then they also have a CETME version that's a steel, all steel construction. there's pros and cons of both, and people, there's probably just as many on one side or the other of that, which one they like better. So I actually have both. I did just recently buy these aluminum ones, more of them, and I found them, believe it or not, on Gunbroker for $6 a piece, including shipping. They were like $4.50 or $5. Buy 10 of them for, I don't know, call it $49.99 or something like that, plus shipping. So it was around $6 when it was all said and done, including shipping to my door for these. A little over, maybe a little just over $6.25, something like that. But either way, very reasonable in price of magazines. So they're still around. Who knows when they'll have more or whatever in today's political climate. Get while you can. The getting's good. That's what I always tell people, and that's kind of what I did. I went ahead and just ordered 10 of them again. So there's no way I'm ever going to run out of good magazines at this point. Not with about 30 of these things now put up. So magazines are plentiful to some degree, not as much as they were 5 or 10 years ago, but they're still out there, still reasonably priced especially in today's political climate. So you got that. This right here is the AIM Sport handguard. People are probably going to ask about that. I've done a video about this already. This right here fits. There's no modification. That was a little controversy when I was buying this. A lot of people said it didn't work without some modification. Mine fit fine without a modification, and you can go to that video and refer to that as far as detailed information about this. So yeah, great platform, 308. I mean, you could use it for hunting. Again, with this setup, with the bipod, little 3x9 scope, then you can whatever scope you choose. This right here, it's called the UTG Bug Buster, and it gets excellent reviews. Budget price, you're talking about $100. This is a 3x9 mil dot reticle. It is a lit reticle, green or red, so it fits just kind of that budget DMR setup pretty well, to be honest with you. It gets excellent reviews. It's been around for a few years now, and I've kind of followed this one. I've never bought one until recently, and I decided to try it because it just got such good reviews, and UTG is pretty good about if there is a problem, they'll take care of you. So nice scope caps, and I'll probably do a detailed review about this at a later date, so stay tuned to that. But this thing's been reviewed hundreds of times on YouTube anyway. This setup's a little different. Some of my other rifles, and I don't even remember which brands. I think I had an HK receivered one at one time, if I remember correctly. It's been some years back. But either way, they did not come with this rail. And so Century decided to do something a little different, and they added this pick rail or 1913 rail, and they welded it to the top. Because if you're familiar with these rifles, you had to buy this pretty expensive claw mount that H&K had that clamped to the thing. It's literally what it's called, a claw. It actually clamped on. It was not repeatable for the most part. This is repeatable because these are quick release. I can take this off, and as long as I mark where I put this and put it back again, it should be pretty close to zeroed. That claw mount, it's a little harder to do that with, but really expensive too. I think at one time, if you can even find one now, they might even be $200 or $300 just for the mount. So this right here makes much better sense. Does it take away from the authenticity or kind of the tradition of the rifle? A little bit, but I'm okay with that just for the convenience of having it this way. So I'm all right with that. Real simple concept and design as far as parts and accessories when it comes to being very robust system. These are originally designed to fire fully automatic, so the system is very durable. And parts are still available. You can find them. You can buy complete trigger packs. This actually has an HK trigger pack in it. It's not overly expensive, but you're looking a little less than $200 for an HK trigger pack. The cool thing about these, you can still find these when they first came out and they were plentiful. You could find them for $450 to $550, I think. Retail on these was maybe $5.99, and you could find them for $5.29, $4.99 street price. They since don't have them anymore. Again, they're basically surplus rifles, so surplus dries up all the time. So if you can find one on the used market, I found this one local. You can find them in that $600 to $800 range, even today with the crazy politics. They're out there. Just kind of look around. But I think it's well worth buying, to be honest with you, just because of everything we've talked about so far. One thing about these that you want to make sure of, it's called bolt gap. It's not head spacing, but it's a similar concept. If the bolt spacing The bolt gap, it's called. If it gets out of kilter too much, out of spec, then it's dangerous and it actually can explode the rifle. There's a video floating around, or at least a discussion, where a guy blew one of these out, and people thought it detonated out of battery. A lot of different controversy of discussing it, conspiracy theories of why it happened. Some people blame the ammo, whatever. I literally think it was a bad bolt gap. So it's kind of similar to firing out a battery. It's not a good thing. You can buy some feeler gauges on Amazon. That's what I use. Is feeler gauges. Matter of fact, I've got them in one of my stores, I think, maybe in the gun-related stuff. But if not, I'll make sure I got it in there. I think I put it in there. But a set of feeler gauges, $7, $8, $10, not a whole lot. That's the most accurate way. People talk about there's a way to use like pieces of paper and stuff. Forget all that. Just go buy you an $8, $12 bolt gap, or feeler gauge to check your bolt gap, make sure it's within spec. There's a variation, and I don't remember it. It's all over the internet. HK Pro has a forum. They talk about it a lot. Whatever, because it has to do with all these rifles in this type of design, not just the C308 or anything. So I don't care if you got an MP5, it's the same concept. You still got to check your bolt gap on this stuff. But anyway, guys, just kind of wanted to briefly discuss this type of rifle. I think it has its role. I think because it being a 308, it's still a NATO round. It's plentiful to find. I think it fits in that prepper box pretty well, to be honest with you. I think because it's an HK pattern style rifle, it fits in a collection well. Everybody these rifles are iconic. It's kind of like the MP5, this one, they all are just kind of iconic. There's been tons of movies where, the British sniper had one of these or whatever. They're just cool rifles, and I highly recommend maybe going out and find one. You could find a bolt action 308, because I talk about this in a few of my videos about prepping, is having a long range option. This one I think is more versatile because of the magazine capacity, holding 20 rounds. You could take the bipod off, take the scope off, throw your sling on it. Now it's more of a battle rifle application. Throw this back on it, it's more of a long-range DMR type setup. So, it's very versatile over just a basic bolt-action 308, and cheaper than usually most AR-10s that you would try buying or building. So I think it has its place, and I think it fits that role really well. But guys, appreciate you tuning in. If you got any experience with the C308 or similar type patterned rifles, be sure to share that with us and your kind of thoughts on it. And anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. If you got any questions, post those below. And as always, like, share, and subscribe. Bring another video shortly. Have a great day.